waste. You can actually do something with organic waste. 55% of the 55% that goes into landfill. So half of what we get put into landfills right now can actually be reused. It's organic. We can do other things with it. And it can be used to make fuel, ethanol in particular. For more, let's talk about this. I'm joined now by Arnold Klahn. He's the CEO of a company called BlueFire Ethanol. And they actually want to take stuff that is headed for the landfill that can be made into ethanol and put into cars, sort of just like Back to the Future, just like that little clip we saw. Arnold, thanks very much for joining us. Tell us about your company.
Well, I'm glad to be on the show today. We have a technology that we've pioneered that's been in existence now really for about 20 years, where we can take that which society values the least, our trash, and we can take that material that's buried into the ground, separate it into its constituent components, primarily of sugars and of lignins, which makes up most of the organic components. And then by taking those sugars, we ferment those through very conventional processes into the ethanol that goes into our transportation fuel. The lignin that is left over, we burn in our boilers to supply our steam and our electricity needs of the plants. So again, by co-locating our plants within the landfill model, we are capable of taking that material, instead of going into burial, into into the fuel mix.
All right. The system you said has been around for a while. What has made this viable now?
Really, it's the fact the market has come to utilize the ethanol. 20 years ago, ethanol was a nascent chemical to go into the transportation mix. While there was a market there, since this was new technology, financing mechanisms really didn't exist to finance first-of-a-kind technologies such as these. But with societal changes, of course, we're looking at the greenhouse gas issues and that, we are now able to develop a situation within the government constraints of the grant programs, loan guarantees, and the necessity for energy security for the country to really finance these types of facilities.
All right, so in terms of ethanol and successes in ethanol, we've seen it in Brazil where they use some of the cane, the sugar cane. We do it here in the United States with corn, and that's been somewhat controversial. How does this idea of taking trash and making it into fuel compare with other alternatives that we're looking at right now?
Well, right now it's the most efficient, I believe, because, again, if you look at corn, you look at what's going on in Brazil right now, they're fundamentally taking a food product, sugars in the case of Brazil, and transferring that into a chemical that would ultimately go into our gasoline mix. In our case, we're taking what society, again, throws away. And by way of reference, to give you an example, out of a ton of trash that we're intercepting from the landfills, we can produce approximately 70 gallons of ethanol. If we look at the same production model from corn, we produce about 95 gallons per ton of the corn. So we have very close to the same energy balance that you would get from corn as we do with the trash. So we're throwing away a huge amount of energy.
Does the quality of the garbage have any impact on your production?
Not really. That's the beauty of our technology. We have one of the only technologies that is really agnostic to how the feedstock comes in. As long as it's organic, as long as it's been grown photosynthetically, we can extract the sugars from that material. We can process those sugars into the ethanol, and that's the key to our technology.
Now, part of it is that you've got two plants that are set up right next to landfills here in the United States.
That's correct. Our first project is located in Lancaster, California. That project has all its permits. We're ready to go into construction on that facility once we close financing. Our second project is located in Fulton, Mississippi. In this case, it's not adjacent to a landfill, but rather a chipping mill, and we'll be utilizing wood waste slash other materials that come out of the forestry activities, as well as some agricultural residues, to process that into ethanol to go into the Mississippi and Southeast marketplace.
What's the potential downsides here? What are some of the hurdles that you have to confront?
Well, the biggest hurdle right now, and it has been the consistent hurdle, and that is financing for these first-of-a-kind type of technologies. Again, as I mentioned, the Obama administration has fully supported putting in loan guarantees, grants, to make sure these types of technologies do get into the marketplace to meet our energy needs here in the United States, as well as having a technology for export. That has been, by far, the biggest barrier to entry to getting these projects in place. And of course, the financing is related to, is there a product demand? And so with the Renewable Fuel Standard passed back in 2008, and then the renewal in 2009 RFS2, and now in 2010, this gives us the mandated marketplace so that